Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is my take on spaghetti carbonara. It is a traditional Italian meal, but I do a little twist because I add vegetables to it. But the first thing, we've got to get the water going. And so we're going to get some water boiling. And I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of salt. And it's on the highest temperature because you're just getting it up to a rolling boil. And pretty much with this dish, you don't need, after the salted water, you probably won't need any more salt. Because the cheese and the pancetta is very salty already. So I'm gonna put the salt away. And then I'm using pancetta, and I use 2 packages, and it's 8 ounces, so 4 ounce a package. And so the pancetta is salty also. And also a lot of people, they may want to use regular bacon. And there's another type of pork jowls, rincoli, or I don't know how you pronounce it. Italian, of course, but it's the pig jowls and cheek. But I'm using pancetta. And I do a little different. I got it in a Pyrex baking dish with some parchment paper. I have the oven already preheated to 375. And so I'm going to put this in there and let that crisp up. And so now I'm going to finish grating. I have some Pecorino Romano cheese, and this wedge is 0.62 pounds. So a little over a half a pound of Pecorino Romano. And Pecorino Romano is also very salty. And it's made with sheep's milk. So grate that. I had started grating it, so I didn't want you all to be watching me grating a big old wedge of cheese the whole morning. So, and feel free to add ask any questions or comments or questions. Some people do like using Parmesan or Reggiano for this, but traditionally it's Pecorino Romano with sheep's milk. And like I said, it's very salty. So between the pancetta, the Pecorino Romano, and the salt I added in the water to boil the pasta, you don't really need to add any additional salt because we're also going to take out, when we cook the pasta, we're going to take out a little bit of reserve of the pasta water. And once the pasta is done, when I put it in, that's when everything has to come together pretty fast. Does anyone have any questions? Can you hear me okay? Any comments?
The earphones helped a lot.
Oh, good. Good.
And we're hearing you fine.
Can you see everything okay?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
know I'm grating cheese and chatting, but you know.
Be careful of your fingers.
And what's good about this dish too, it's not a lot of ingredients. And so sometimes when you don't have anything or you don't feel like going shopping, but this is such a fulfilling meal, but also I don't put some people put almost a pound of pancetta because they almost make this the main course. I only did a half a pound, and because of the vegetables, it can be an entree. But traditionally, this is just your pasta course because you're going to have another whole, part of the meal and other dishes to go with it. So here is all of the grated Pecorino Romano. And so then the eggs. Now I let these eggs sit up about 30 minutes to get a room temperature. I always break my eggs in a separate dish because of shells. And of course, with the color of the cheese, you don't know if some shell cracks or little remnants of eggshell, you don't want that in your dish. So I always crack my eggs in a separate dish. Now, some people with this dish also use just egg yolks. They'll use some egg yolks and then have a few whole eggs. I use whole eggs for the whole dish. Like I said, everybody does it just a little take, but the traditional way though. And I also, with the pancetta, I use the fat from the pancetta. Some people use some of the pancetta fat and olive oil, but I just use the pancetta, the fat from that. So I'll beat these up a little bit. And then I'm going to add this to the grated Pecorino Romano. And now also another thing that I do a little different is I put some of my seasoning in this mixture. So this is grated black pepper, and also this meal is a creamy, peppery type dish. So this will be almost like a teaspoon of black pepper. And of course you can add pepper to taste also. And now the one thing I also do a little different, I use the Italian herb seasoning. And again, about 1 teaspoon of this. And then once I break this in here, I'm going to just put this away also because I'm not going to add any more Italian herbs. And you can add a little garlic. So now I'm going to mix all this together. This is the egg and cheese mixture. And this is your sauce. This is going to be your sauce. So a traditional carbonara does not have any cream in it. This is your cream here. And because I had such a big wedge of cheese, I'm going to add another egg. So I'm using 5 eggs instead of 4. So again, adding that to the cheese mixture, I'm going to give it another couple of grinds of pepper. And when you put this mixture on that hot pasta with that hot pancetta, it's just fantastic. So mixing that all up together. Got my spices in here.
Maria,
Yes,
is the pancetta in the oven?
it is in the oven, 375,
For how long?
just till it crisp up. So it's been in there when we initially started. So it's been in there about 10 minutes so far. And I'm looking at the water.
Okay,
It's starting not to rolling boil yet, but it's getting there.
thank you.
You're welcome. And again, just making sure all the cheese and eggs is mixed up good together. I have here in the kitchen sink too, a colander, so that when it's ready, because once the pasta's done, you really got to move fast to put everything together. What's you all's take on garlic? Do you want garlic or no?
If I was coming over, I'd like garlic.
Garlic.
Yeah, we too.
Okay, well,
Take that as an invitation.
Not I.
we love garlic here in our house, so. This is some minced garlic, 1 teaspoon, and I just put it in the egg mixture. And incorporate that. I'm gonna go check on the pancetta. Water's not quite rolling boil yet. And of course, a lot of people do the pancetta in a pan. But again, normally I put it in the oven because I'm grating the cheese. And you have other things going on, and that way I don't have to worry about it. So all of that blending, waiting on the the water to get up to a rolling boil. It's not quite there yet. And I normally get, I just use dried spaghetti, and this is a pound. And this one is the one that's already cut, so I don't have to worry about it sticking out in the pot. A lot of people put it in the pot, and it's sticking out. Sometimes that can stick to the side of the pot and burn the part that's sticking out if you don't want to get it all down once it starts boiling. So I just use the half-cut spaghetti just to make it easy on myself. And then I have the spinach and arugula mix. And the spinach, of course, just for the nutritional value, in the arugula is because it has a nice peppery taste. So that's how mine's a little different, because I put vegetables in my carbonara with the spinach and arugula. Some people put peas, and of course that's not traditional, because like I said, they normally use this just as a course and not a main dish, but I'm doing it as a main dish. So that's why I want some vegetables and not as much meat. Any other questions or comments, thoughts?
Maria, did I hear you correctly that you said you thought the spinach adds kind of a peppery?
Oh, the arugula.
The arugula.
Arugula, yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Maria, the spaghetti, I've never seen it in a small square box like
Yeah,
that.
the half-cut spaghetti. That way you don't have to break the
Yeah.
pasta for the pot.
Where do you get it?
This is Harris Teeter. But
Okay.
all the other brands, they have the half-cut. Yep.
Wow. Okay. and
I've never
that's,
seen it either.
yeah.
Cindy,
Yeah.
it's in Safeway and Giants. It's over where you see some of the smaller boxes after you pass the packages of spaghetti.
Okay.
Huh.
And it's there. That's what we use at Heartfelt a lot
Okay.
now because people have
Okay.
picked them up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's a whole
Interesting.
pound in that little
Yeah,
box?
this is a whole pound.
Wow. And you don't have to cook it as long? Is that what you said?
No, you just don't have to break it.
Oh, okay.
Because if some people don't break their spaghetti when they put it in the pot, they have it sticking out. But if you're not there to monitor it, to make sure it all goes down into the cooking water, it can stick to the side of the pot and sometimes it can burn.
Right.
Or you can break it yourself and splatter it all over the kitchen.
Right. So this, try to make it easy for yourself. And this is such an easy dish, but it's so delicious and so flavorful that, you just want
Can't wait to try it.
Yeah. We're looking forward to coming over and eating it.
Well, you know what? You can do a drive-by. Everybody can do a drive-by parade. It can serve about 5. Rolling ball yet on the water, and the pancetta's not quite ready yet, but it's coming along. Because when I've made this several times now just to get ready for this. So we've been eating a lot of pasta, carbonara, but they said they're not tired of it. So, because I don't know if you all saw the picture that I sent out with the recipe so you could see the plated finished product.
It looks wonderful, and the picture was beautiful, Maria.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
But I'm hoping that you all will incorporate this recipe into your repertoire because you see the ingredients and everything is easily locally available. Of course, with the pancetta,
Yeah.
you can't, well, I think, you just get that, the cut already in the deli area, because I think you would have to go to, none of the meat departments have that type of butcher where they're selling slabs of pancetta locally. I didn't go to Nick's and ask about them doing that.
Were the packages of pancetta that you had already diced, or did you do that
Yeah.
in advance?
Already diced.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Boar's Head was the brand.
Okay.
And it was right over there in the deli area, where you would get your sliced lunch meat, and different things like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's right there.
Have you ever used prosciutto in it?
I have not, and that's ham, and that's pretty salty too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
no,
it's
I never
cooked,
thought
right?
about prosciutto. I have done it with regular bacon,
Mm-hmm.
but the pancetta is just, it's better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen or been to a butcher that had I don't know if it's rincoli or something, but again, it's the pig jowls.
This recipe looks like it could be easily cut in half also, which is
It's
nice.
very easy to cut in half because
Yeah.
you would pretty much, it's an egg per serving.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're just using a little handful of pasta,
Yeah.
and half of the amount of, a quarter
Right.
of the amount of cheese, but it's easily adaptable.
Yeah.
To individual servings or 1 or 2 servings. Very
It would be dangerous for me to have this quantity in my house.
well, you just
I could freeze it maybe.
because it's good leftovers, very good
Yeah.
leftovers.
Maria, have you ever been to Giolitti's Italian store up in Annapolis?
Yeah, we have.
They don't.
I didn't look for pancetta with them. I was looking for olives at the time. but I've never went in there looking for pancetta. That's
Okay.
a good idea, though.
I was wondering if they had it in slabs.
That's a good idea. Next time we go up there, I'm gonna look for that. And I don't know because we're on TV or doing this live, but
Watching it.
order forever to boil because I guess I'm watching the pot.
Yes.
Because normally it would be boiling by now, and I have it on the highest setting. What do you normally get out of Wincelli's, or what was the name of that Italian store?
What do I get?
Who? Was that Deb who asked that question?
Oh, that was me, Cindy.
Oh, okay. What do you get out of there normally?
I don't normally go there, but I went there once because Marianne Munn recommended it for getting non-salted ricotta cheese
Oh,
for using in desserts.
oh,
Huh.
So, they have, in the regular store, it's usually salted. Although Galbano's, they have that in the regular stores now. They didn't at the time. And I think that one is at least less salty, than the other brands. So, like for cannoli.
Yeah, we've gotten the Italian flour for pasta there, and they have a wine selection of Italian wines, some of which you can't find other places. But we like to eat lunch there.
We do a lot.
we got wine from there too, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what kind it was, but we did get wine from there.
And the best
Pinot
cooking,
Noir. We got some Pinot Noir. Hopefully in the next couple of minutes, the water is almost there. Talking about watching a pot.
I was reading a book yesterday that observed that the irritating thing about old, long-standing sayings, like a watched pot never boils, the irritating thing is that so many of them are true.
Yeah. It's not boiling.
I'm not sure the laws of physics could explain it, but certainly consistent with experience.
Right.
When I did my cooking show, I made my dessert ahead of time, because I hadn't made it in a while. And it's good to just be more familiar. I totally get that part.
Okay, I'm adding the pasta to the salted water. Okay. And I use my kitchen timer, and I'm gonna let this get back to boiling again for 10 minutes. I like my pasta al dente. And then of course it's gonna go, once it boils, it's gonna go back. Not really, it's gonna go back in this hot pot, and it's gonna do a little bit of additional cooking, not much, but. So now, got the pasta in the water, egg mixture with the pecorino cheese. And I've never made this with Parmesan cheese. So I don't know how it would taste with Parmesan. And I got the pecorino also from the deli. It's Giant, I believe, Giant or Harris Teeter. Let me check on the pancetta. This is how it's looking. It's not quite ready yet. But when it crisps up, and again, we're going to use some of the rendered fat off of the pancetta in the dish. I don't add additional olive oil. I have a coffee cup over by the pasta because when it's almost ready, I'm going to take off a cup of reserved pasta water and put it to the side because you're going to use some of it, probably not all of it, but that'll help with the sauce. And of course, since I'm using the reserved pasta water, it's already salted. Salty cheese, salty pancetta. Don't need to add any more additional salt to the dish.
Maria, when you were talking about the coffee cup, I thought you were going to say that's for Oscar. When we cook the outreach breakfast, we all noticed it's important to keep Oscar's cup full.
You have a beautiful kitchen.
Oh, thank you.
Maria, I told you yesterday I didn't want Patty to watch today because seeing your kitchen was going to cost me money. She's already told me that she wants her kitchen to look like yours.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm flattered.
Did you have it?
I love the
Go ahead.
backsplash.
Thank you.
It's all so pretty.
Thank you. What was your question, Patty?
Maria, he doesn't realize or remember that I've been in your kitchen. And I have seen it all.
Did you design your kitchen, Maria?
I did.
Lucky you.
Thank you.
And you have a pot filler, don't you?
Oh, and I love it. We love it. Yes. You don't realize how convenient it is until you do, until you have one.
We decided we needed a pot filler. And 2 days later, after having to cut out a large chunk of wall and a few other things, we finally realized a pot filler.
Can't live without it now. It's
I
one.
know, don't you love it?
Mm-hmm.
And that way you don't have to lift heavy pots, with full of water and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does save a lot of time.
It does.
Well, I know you all don't have smell-o-vision, but between the pancetta, it is really smelling quite good in here. Okay. I'm taking out the pancetta. I don't know if you all can see that.
Nice.
So the pancetta is over here. Like I said, I am going to use some of the fat from the pancetta. Got 4 more minutes on the pasta. And right before I take the pasta out, I'm gonna get a cup of the reserved water to mix in the sauce. Got everything ready here. I'm gonna move some of the stuff a little closer to the pot over here because the putting together part is you gotta move fast because you don't want scrambled eggs. And so, and since we have eggs as the main part of the sauce, it's just a balancing act. You gotta keep it moving and make sure the dish is well mixed, but cooked. But again, you don't want scrambled eggs in your pasta.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no, you certainly do not.
And some people like that, but it's not a good look for carbonara. So I wonder how they do with these. Well, I know with the cooking shows, they really have so much stuff already staged and have the pasta already cooked and all that kind of stuff. So.
And they have a lot of help.
Well,
Yeah, doing all that stuff.
Yes.
Where's Oscar? Don't you have a sous chef this morning?
Oh, he's the cameraman. Haven't you been seeing all these different angles? And so when the camera's following me, he's the one, and he was my producer and director. And no, Kip is my producer. Oscar's been my director.
Excellent.
So we have a whole production system going on in here in this kitchen. Got 2 more minutes on the pasta.
Maria, you're right. It smells great.
Well, I'm glad the smell-o-vision is coming down to your home.
Maria, you cook like I do. I used to, putting everything away as you go.
Oh, I can't stand
Does it?
chaos.
Absolutely. I do the same. I did the same thing.
Yes, I cannot stand it. And I try to clean as I go too, you know.
Yep. I thought, oh my gosh, that's the way I used to be.
Yes.
Maria, when we were in Italy,
Uh-huh.
I took a course, or at least a recipe from a lady, Rosanna, who was in her middle in 80s.
Uh-huh.
He said, Patty, in Italian, Kip had to translate, you must remember the smell is as an important ingredient as the ingredients you put into the recipe. It inspires you, she said.
Oh, yes, it does. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take out, give out 1 cup of the reserved water. And have that to the side. And like I said, got my colander here in the sink, ready to go.
There's the buzzer.
Okay. And now this is, when I'm turning off the heat, and this is when the party's really getting ready to get started. So we'll turn the water off. Turning the heat off. I'm putting the pancetta in the pan. And it does have quite a bit of fat, so I'm definitely not using all of this fat, this oil. So got that here in the pot. Then here's the spinach and arugula, dumping that on top of the
Paper salad.
let me show you all that. So now here's the spinach and arugula. And now your hot pasta, putting that on top of the spinach and arugula. And now adding your egg mixture with your Pecorino Romano, your herbs and your pepper and the garlic. And now you really have to move fast.
To the side, to the side.
Which to the side?
Just go ahead, keep it.
Oh, my director. Stirring that up, and you just keep stirring and stirring. No heat is on this mixture now. And I'm going to add a little bit of the reserved pasta water. Because you want this to come out silky and creamy. And you just keep it moving till you get everything blended well. And I'm keeping it moving. And then I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in a minute after I finish tossing it up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more pasta water, and it's just because you can see it's not as creamy as you would like, and of course that's preference, but right now I have used about 3/4 of that cup of pasta water.
Do you have heat on the stove doing this?
No,
Okay, thanks.
I just have, because you know the pancetta was hot, the pasta is hot, and the pasta water is hot. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a second. I'm gonna put some pepper. Some fresh ground pepper, adding that. And remember, we don't need to add any additional salt. And I put the herbs and garlic in the cheese and egg mixture. It's coming along very nice. And I want to show you all how it looks in the pot.
Oh, beautiful. Yummy.
Nice.
And then we're gonna get ready. And when I plate it, you put a little, I put a little Parmesan Reggiano on it as a garnish. So,
Sit on camera. Go back, down, down, just down. Pull it back.
just a minute. And there you have.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Lovely.
Gorgeous. I like your dish too.
Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Marie, I didn't see how much, how big, did you use a bag of mixed spinach and arugula?
Yeah, a whole bag.
And that's like a 5-ounce bag?
Wait a minute, I'll tell you.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah.
You know, it would only take us like 5 minutes to be there.
Come on, come on. And if you want, and it just, of course, it's all to taste. If you want to add a little bit more pepper, I'm not mad about pepper. And so add a little bit more fresh ground pepper, and there you have your dish. And you're ready
Lovely.
for early lunch.
Wow.
Yes,
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I haven't considered having spaghetti for breakfast before, but my stomach is telling me now's a good time.
Yeah.
Time has no meaning right now. We can just enjoy and get on into it.
Irresistible.
Hey, Sunderland.
Any questions?
No,
That was
great.
very clear.
I love that you put vegetables in it. I'm a
Yeah.
veggie person.
Great, great. And you know, you can't, well, like I said, I do the arugula because of course it has a nice peppery taste, but some, you can just do all spinach.
Yeah.
And like some people use, you know, peas,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to add some vegetables to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could persuade myself then it's healthy.
You got all the protein from the eggs,
Right.
the pancetta, it's very filling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a great, and it's good leftovers too.
And there's no cream. That's good.
Yeah.
So when you go to a restaurant, they have cream in their carbonara. It's not, I don't know what, it's Alfredo, I guess. I don't know. It's not carbonara.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you very much.
Well, I'm just so glad
Thank you.
enjoyed it. I do wish you all were here to eat it.
We do too.
And it does smell quite wonderful in here.
Yeah.
Well, Maria, thank you so much. And
Thanks again,
Oscar,
honey.
Thank you.
super
Yeah.
camera work.
Yes,
there,
the
Oscar.
production
Thank you.
team.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Thank you so much.